If you are a Muslim, this is the last video you need to ever watch to build a halal online income. So you can obviously stop working the job you're working, have more freedom, go to Umrah whenever you want, and finally start taking care of your family without having to start your own business or working more than 6 hours per day. Because the training you are about to watch took me from working a 9 to 5 I hated to making more than $5,000 per month in less than 60 days. I then used that same information, that same skill set, and started making more than $3,000 per week at 21, alhamdulillah. And when other Muslims like Ammar went through this exact training, he landed a role that now pays him multiple 4 figures per month. Adam went through the same training, and in less than 2 weeks, he also landed a role that now pays him multiple 4 figures per month. Tanveer also learned all of this and made $300 in 2 days and now also makes multiple 4 figures per month. Ali made $150 in a single day just in the first 3 weeks of going through this training. But once you actually give this a bit of time and you really level up your skill, you can make up to $3,000 in a single day like Ismail did. Now, I don't tell you any of this because I'm in Dubai with a Lamborghini and I want you to buy my $997 course. No, I'm giving it all away for free. So please just take it as a gift from one Muslim to another, because you are about to get access to, number one, the mindset, the productivity, the discipline required to put in the work to get over your limiting beliefs, so you actually have a chance to build a halal online income. Secondly, the specific high income skill you are going to be monetizing to build this online income. And number three, specifically how to land a role so you can get paid for this skill set you just learned and make money from it for the rest of your life, inshallah. So Bismillah, let's get started. So firstly, I want to give you a quick overview on what this is and why it works so well. So let's go through these modules. Now, how is online money actually made? And the reason this is so important is it's important for you to understand the fundamentals so you can build up from there. Everyone wants to make the money, do XYZ, but they don't understand the fundamentals of the business. So let's jump into that. You need to understand that fundamentally, money is an exchange of value, and value is created when pain is alleviated. For you to make money, you must solve a problem for someone. That's simply it. Now, there's a bunch of different problems you can solve to make halal money online, but some problems are easier to solve than others, and you personally will be better at solving certain problems. And the thing is that a certain problem can make you the same amount of money as you solving a different type of problem or a range of different problems. So you have more leverage, you get more out of what you put in with certain things. Now, as a beginner, there's only a certain amount of problems you can solve for someone because you're a beginner, you don't have any prior experience, knowledge, or skills. So it's best to pick one thing and get really good at it, kind of how I explained to you in my story. And this will allow you to really focus on one thing you need to be good at. And because you're actually good at it, you're gonna make money from it, inshallah. And for those of you who are watching this and you've tried certain business models in the past, you've done XYZ and you've failed, you need to understand that was probably because you were trying to solve too many problems. Because trying to start one of these business models, which requires you to learn marketing, sales, delivery, and there's 100 other things, I just wanted to keep it broad, but you need to learn these 3 fundamental things to actually succeed in business. If you want to do e-commerce, you need to learn how to market the product, how to run ads. You need to learn how to find the product, if the product is even going to sell, if it's a winning product, talk to the Chinese suppliers, get it delivered, XYZ. Then you need to write the copywriting on the sales page, build the sales page. You need to do all of this stuff. And even with other business models, there's so much for you to do. And what happens is that there's so many skills for you to learn. Tell me, if you went and wanted to start boxing, would you go fight Mike Tyson your first day in the boxing gym? Of course not. Just like you wouldn't try to wake up and run a marathon without even having ran a 5K, a 2K, because you don't have that experience, you don't have that skill set, and that's why you've been failing, because you bite off more than you can chew. But why don't you just learn one skill that can make you 5 to 10K a month? Just one thing. Because now that we've understood how making halal money online works, and we also understand that we need to focus on one skill rather than trying to learn multiple skills for a business model, it's time for me to actually introduce the opportunity to you where you literally get paid by either typing messages on your keyboard or just taking phone calls on Zoom. This is called remote high ticket sales. Now, what does that mean? Basically, you're going to be working a remote job and you're going to be basically selling high ticket services or product. High ticket just means expensive, usually over $2,000 over. So 2,000, 5K, 10K, 20K, there's even people selling services or products for $20,000. And your job is to basically sell this product and actually just take a commission of it. Now, I know that might seem a bit daunting. We're going to explain how it works and you'll see it's pretty simple and it's not as hard as you think. What happens is you work for an online business who has already done the marketing to attract potential customers. They've already built a very good product. They've gotten results. So you don't need to do any of that. The only problem this company, this business is facing, and remember, we get paid for solving problems. The problem is that they have so many people interested in buying their products. It's just harder for the actual business to handle it. So they hire high ticket sales reps who can come in and sell the product, sell this product to the customer who's already interested, who already has the pain, the problems, but they just need that final conversation. Then maybe they have a few questions to get them across the line. And that's literally how it's done. So let me actually give you a real life example of this. And as soon as I start explaining this to you, you're going to start seeing these high ticket businesses where these people are selling some form of service that is high ticket online. You're going to see it everywhere, especially on social media. Now, this brother right here, he's selling a high ticket product where he helps Muslims start a business. So I believe his product goes from 2K, 5K, 10K even. And the problem is he's done the marketing, he's built a product, but the main problem he's struggling with is actually sales. He has a business to run, he has a family, he's got other stuff to do, and he can't just sit here and actually talk to everyone that's potentially interested in giving him money, in buying his product. So what he's literally gone out and done is hire a team of remote high ticket sales reps to help him get sales for his business. What happens is these people come into his business and they take care of the entire sales process for him, the entire sales system. Do you see how he's got DM me business to get started? He's probably getting hundreds and thousands of DMs like that every single day, every single week. And there are other people using basically his account, like you can literally go message and you'll get a reply, where there's someone, I hope we just don't flood his DMs, that would be rude. But literally someone is in his DMs and they're literally just replying to anyone who says business, and they talk to them and they literally type some messages, qualify them, see if this person is a good fit for the product, and then usually get them on a sales call where another high ticket sales rep will have a conversation with them on Google Meet, on Zoom, try to see where they are, try to see if they're actually a good fit, and help them buy the product. That's literally it. And it isn't like scammy or shady in a way compared to like car sales or anything like that. You're being brutally honest. You're just helping people who are already interested in buying the product and they have a problem that this product will solve, and they're willing to pay 2K, 5K, 10K, 20K. They don't mind. They have the money and they want to invest in themselves. And your job is just to help them make the decision, help them either book a call or get on the call and help them close and buy the product, and you get a commission off that. Another example, this brother here, he's helping Muslims dad lose weight, get healthy, right? All that good stuff. And he gets too many DMs every single day. People are DMing him AZ, like, oh, I want to work with you for one-on-one coaching. I want XYZ. And he's hired literally one of my students to help him, alhamdulillah. And my student's job is literally, like I said, just to get calls booked in the DMs, talk to him, XYZ, and see if he can actually help them if they're qualified and take it from there. And my student literally is getting paid just for that, just for typing some messages in the DMs, and that's literally it. And he's literally, like I said before, on track to replacing his full-time income with this. Now, like I said before, you're gonna see examples of this literally everywhere on social media. Most people who are running ads, creating content, they have some form of high ticket product to sell, and they already have or are looking to hire sales reps who can come work for them and help them get sales. And that's exactly where you're going to come in. Now you know what this is, how it works, and why it works so well. Let's actually go through the first bit of training around your mindset, your productivity, your discipline. Now, I know you might be thinking, oh, but Zain, this isn't important. I want to actually learn sales. Look, there's a reason I'm putting this first. And you need to recall the Quranic verse, Allah will not change the condition of the people until they change what is within themselves. I can teach you sales, I can give you all the training and everything else, but if you do not internally change and if you do not internally level up, you will not be able to put in the work, you will not be able to go actually build that halal online income. So please just give this first 20-30 minutes a bit of your attention, take notes, implement it, and I promise the rest of the process will become so much easier for you and you will have more barakah in it as well, inshallah. Let's firstly start and go over the fundamental principles you'll need to just level up as a man and get to 10k a month and even beyond, inshallah. And in this module, we're going to be covering number one, how to actually achieve your goals. And number two, we're going to study what is holding you back right now and how you can overcome it. So firstly, let's go over how you're going to be able to achieve your goals. And let's start off by being honest. You've already set goals in the past. You've got probably like tens and hundreds of goals in your life, right? Like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. You've tried doing things before. Maybe you tried getting into the gym, you tried getting good grades, you tried to get a certain job, whatever it is. And even the goal to 10k a month, which is your current goal. Yet, how many times did you actually end up achieving your goal? Probably not that many times, if any. I'm sure you've achieved some, but a lot of times you didn't. And for so long, I was just like you. It was so hard for me to actually set a goal and then go out and achieve it. And it was because I fundamentally misunderstood how achieving goals actually worked. And when I came across this concept I'm about to teach you right now, alhamdulillah, I've been able to achieve all of my goals since then. Just set new goals and keep on achieving them. And what you need to understand is that we don't achieve goals, we achieve characters, and then these characters end up achieving the goal we set in the first place. So fundamentally, this means that you as a person, your identity, your character needs to change. And the only reason you haven't achieved your goal right now is because you don't deserve to. No matter how much dua you make, no matter how hard you try, you will not achieve it until you fundamentally have changed your identity to the version of you making 10k a month. And there are basically three main things you're going to have to change. Number one, your mindset. So beliefs, the way you make decisions, the way you overcome certain problems and analyze things. Number two, character traits. So your discipline, your time management, the habits you have, even your level of patience, how you keep going, how you're resilient, all of these things. And number three, your skills. Luckily for you, in this entire program, in these video modules, we're going to be going over all of those three things and how you're going to level up. And basically, like I said before, right? This is you right now. You, the version one of you that I've spoken to that is watching this video is never going to make 10k a month. I need you to understand that. And that is okay. Because you can make this jump, you can become the second version of you. Change your mindset, change your character traits, change your skills, level up in every area. And then you will subconsciously, or not subconsciously, you will just end up at your goal. 10k a month will just appear because you're the man that deserves to make 10k a month. Now, here's the thing. Here's the main problem. Changing, this makes sense. Okay, I just need to level up. I just need to become a different person. But the problem is that whenever we try to change, this whole idea of just changing our identity, becoming a different version is, like I said, pretty simple. But you're going to face this thing called resistance, which is basically like the tool your current self uses to protect itself. Because for you to change, for you to level up, for you to make this jump, version one of you needs to die and you need to become a different man. You need to be reborn in a way, for example. And the version one of you will try stopping you by basically throwing stuff like fears. Like you will be afraid of changing. You'll be afraid of committing to something. You'll have doubts. Oh, I don't think sales works. I don't think I'll be able to make 10k a month. You'll have imposter syndrome. You'll procrastinate and not do the work. Basically, whenever you want to do something that you know you are supposed to do, but for some reason you feel a lot of like this psychological pain, you basically feel resistance. That's just your current self trying to protect itself and trying to stop you from changing. And that's why it was so hard to get into this in the first place. It was so hard to start this whole business thing. Even though logically, you know, it makes sense that a 9 to 5 isn't for you. You understood all of these things. But The thing is, you're going to continue to feel this until you have fundamentally changed. So how do we overcome it? Now, in a way, you already have. When you joined this program, you acted out of not the version of you making nothing right now online or however much you're making, but you acted out of the version of you that makes 10K a month. I might have even mentioned it to you. I might have even asked you, what would the version of you making 10K a month decide to do right now? And that's not only just a sales tactic, which you're going to learn because it's very, very powerful, but it's also a great tactic for you to make decisions and for you to level up and end up achieving the goals you want to achieve, because you start thinking from the version of you that is making the money you want to make. You make the decision out of that perspective. And from now on, I need you to start doing exactly that. Start literally believing yourself to already be the version of you making 10K a month, and start living life through his lens. What time would that vision of me making 10K a month wake up at? What would the vision of me making 10K a month do in this specific scenario? Would the version of me making 10K a month believe in this certain thing? Would he believe that making money online is hard, or that he's bad at sales, etc., etc.? You just need to start being delusional in a way and telling yourself, yeah, I am this person and I act out in this specific way. Secondly, you need to understand who you are becoming. You need to have a lot more clarity on the type of man you want to become. For example, when you're driving your car, maybe you're going to work, you have the exact specific location in your mind. You know where your job is, you know where your house is, you know where the supermarket is, you know exactly where it is. Maybe you put a GPS on as well. And that's what you need to do. You need to really dive deep into the version of you that makes 10K a month. What does your life look like then? How do you feel? How do you do all of these things? And start feeling all of that right now. Basically, you can build a document which kind of pictures, and you have full clarity on who you want to become. Like you can, like I said, images, just be super descriptive. And a lot of successful guys have done this, and I want you to do this as well. I've done this as well, so I'll actually show it to you from the guy I learned from. And this guy, his name is Sam Ovens, and he's literally a billionaire. Literally, he used this practice, he became a billionaire. He taught it to a bunch of guys who are all multi-millionaires in their early 20s, in their early 30s. So this definitely works, and let's actually go over it. You don't need to copy everything, and you definitely don't need to copy like the important things to remember, like what he said. Come up with your own stuff. You can do it in Google Docs, in Canva, whatever. But basically, I need you to have the first page around basically important things to remember. So your values, your goals, everything you need to put in there. Then your daily rituals. Kind of, I haven't really done this. I haven't done either of these, so you can skip out on that. But then the identity, you can basically build vision boards of what you want your life to look like, the house you're gonna live in, the family you're gonna have, the business you're gonna have, all of that stuff, going to a lot of detail, images that basically stand out to you. You don't need to do this either. And then kind of the Sam Ovens manifesto, or your manifesto, where you're gonna kind of write exactly what your life will look like 6 months from now, a year from now, when you're making 10K a month. Okay, I'm making 10K a month. I have quit my job. I'm providing for my family, etc., etc. Going into detail about it. You don't need to do the identity thing either. You can write down your goals, and then it's good to have affirmations and visualizations as well. This is just a good thing to have on paper, so you know what you're doing and where you're going. So I've done this myself, and alhamdulillah, like I literally remember that a year ago I had a specific document like this, and I've achieved everything in it. I'm living the life I wanted to live. So don't need to be crazy autistic about this, but it's good to have, and basically put things into paper, write things down. They've done studies on this. The more things you write down, the more things you basically kind of have clarity on, the more likely you are to achieve your goals. That's literally it. I'll see you in the next module. Let's go. Alright boys, in this module I want to really quickly go over limiting beliefs and how this will hold you back. Limiting beliefs will literally destroy the money you're making, will literally destroy all of your effort, and will stop you from even making the effort. And I need you to understand this. Your beliefs are fundamental to your success. Whatever you believe in, it will become true. For example, let's say you have the limiting belief that you cannot make 10K a month. Now guess what? You will not even bother to go figure out how to make 10k a month. You will not take any action on getting the information you need because you think that it's impossible for you. Now, I know that you believe that you can make 10k a month, you can achieve these goals because you have actually bought into this program and you've invested into yourself. So you have that belief. But you might have a belief like, oh, making 10k a month is too hard. Making 10k a month is too difficult. It's something crazy. Only 1% of people make 10k a month in the world. These beliefs will hold you back. You just giving 10k a month, which is a number, so much importance, will hold you back from actually achieving it. So you need to be very, very just analyzing your beliefs and know that your beliefs will directly affect your actions. And if you don't have the right beliefs, you'll never take the action required to go achieve your goal. So one of the best practices you can do is just sit down and analyze all of your beliefs. Your beliefs around making money online, your beliefs around sales, your beliefs around the work you're doing, everything. Analyze all of those beliefs and see, okay, which of these beliefs are serving me? Which of these beliefs are actually holding me back? Maybe you believe that you cannot make 20k in a week. Maybe you have the belief that, oh, I can't make 20k in a week. But you having that belief is stopping you from figuring out how to make $20,000 in a week, from making $10,000 in a day. So it's very, very important to analyze what beliefs we have. A lot of people are broke because of their beliefs. Maybe your parents told you to believe in something when you were a child and you think like, oh, money is evil, money is scarce. I believe money is abundant. I believe there's so much money out there, but someone who makes a bit less money than me will not have that same belief. They might think, oh, money is super scarce. I need to work super hard for my money. That's not necessarily true. So sit down right now. This is the action step. You can open a notes page on your laptop, on your phone, or even like a piece of paper and write down all of the all of the beliefs, positive or negative, around money, around business, and just your life in general, and see which of these actually serve you. Why do you even believe this in the first place? Will the version of you making 10k a month believe in this? If you have like any questions, you need help with anything, just shoot me a message, post in the community, ask the question on the group call, whatever, and inshallah we'll help you destroy this limiting belief, which honestly is super simple. You just need to click your fingers and stop believing in this stupid little thing which is holding you back. I also want to give you kind of example of some good beliefs to hold moving forward. Number one, I can achieve anything I want. People might say, oh, it's Allah's will as well. But I low-key believe that if I have this desire to make 10k a month, to make 100k a month, Allah has already Allah will allow me to do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have that desire. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't even know if that's true or right, but I just believe that. So in a way, it is right. If I believe that, oh yeah, I want to get to 30k a month, I want to get to 100k a month, I believe I can do it if I put in the work, if I learn the skills, all of that stuff. And I need you to have that same belief as well, because again, whatever you believe in will become true. Number two, making money online is easy. A lot of people, I used to be like this as well, that, making money online is hard. It requires a lot of effort. No, it really doesn't. It's not that hard. For you to make money online, you need to learn the skills, which we're going to teach you, then landing a role, which isn't that hard. Do not even have that belief, landing a role is hard, landing a good role is bad. No. It's easy. It's simple. You just need to apply for enough of them. Boom, you land a role, then you can literally get on a call and boom, you've closed your first deal and you've made your first dollar online. It's not difficult, it's not hard, it is possible with enough work and with enough skill. And thirdly, 10k a month is not a huge accomplishment. Again, I kind of mentioned this before in this video, but 10k a month is not a lot of money. It's actually nothing. I need you to just stop giving the importance to 10k a month. 10k a month. Bro, 10k a month is genuinely nothing. It's the minimum wage. Do not give it any importance. Just forget about it. Don't care about it, and just have the belief 10k a month is not even a lot of money. Everyone should be making 10k a month. I hope this was valuable for you. I know it's a short video, but super, super important. It's imperative for you to have the right beliefs, for you to even sit down and analyze your beliefs on a consistent basis, because that will help you level up so much faster. Alright, in this module, we're going to specifically go over into how you can become more productive, the habits you should form. And this is, like I said before, right? For you to become the next version of you need to fix your beliefs, which we talked about before, your mindset. Then you need to fix your character traits. So that's your productivity, your habits, how you live your life. And then obviously skills, which we'll be covering in the rest of the modules. But let's start with this. Number one, productivity, like I said, it's super important. And the more work you get done, the more results you'll see, and you'll just grow faster. So it's super, super important. And let me just break down this entire system to you. Number one, you need to understand what deep work is and how you're going to do it and why you should be doing it. Basically, there's two types of work you can be doing. You can be doing either shallow work, or you can be doing this thing called deep work. Shallow work is where you're maybe working like 5-10 minutes at a time. Then you're going on your phone, you're messaging someone back. Your mom comes in, you answer her question for her. Then boom, you're working 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Then boom, you get out to go like get water, whatever it is. You're just not sitting down and doing the same thing for an extended amount of time, for 60 minutes, for 90 minutes, for 2 hours. That is the difference. Shallow work, deep work. Deep work is, again, you're super focused for a long bout of time. Your mom isn't coming in. You're getting zero distractions. And you're just tapped into your work, dialed in, and doing nothing else. You have zero distractions. Obviously, the version of you, and when you are doing deep work, you will be more focused. You will get more done. You'll get into this flow state. And in shallow work, you just won't get that much done. Like, think about it. Think about like your great grandpa when he was going out to hunt to catch like a deer or something for your family. He wasn't sitting there thinking, oh, well, let me like go pick up some flowers and then go back to hunting the deer. No, he was focused on hunting the deer. He kept his eyes on the deer for hours and hours, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, waiting for the perfect opportunity. And I need you to also develop kind of that hunter mindset in a way. You don't need to work for extended bouts of time where you're doing 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off. No, if you can just do 90 minutes of aggression, focused work, you're not getting distracted, you're not opening up random tabs, watching YouTube videos in between, and you're just super focused on the one thing, you will get so much done. And do at least, when you're sitting down, I've written down here at least a 90-minute deep work block, but you can even do 60 minutes depending on the day, depending on the time. But just have this principle, okay, when I'm working, I'm only focusing on that for an extended period of time. Let's actually talk about the routine as well. Now, I know you might be working right now and it's not going to be exactly easy for you to develop this right now for your schedule, and that's okay. I want you to, in general, have a routine centered around your deen. The more locked in you can be on your deen, you're praying on time, you're reading the Quran, the more barakah you'll have in your day. You will have more almost control of your day, and your day will not just fly by, and you'll be able to get more done. And that is the most important thing. Get closer to Allah, and He'll help you in your business. He'll help you on this journey. So number one, kind of the morning routine you can implement. Wake up 30 minutes before Fajr. Pray Fajr. Maybe even wake up for Tahajjud if you can, right? Maybe you're not at that level, but you can definitely work up to that. Then read some Quran and get straight to your first block of deep work. Again, I know this might not be possible for you right now. Maybe you have to go straight to work, etc. But try building this up at some point and just going from there. The one thing you can do is your night routine is basically just winding down 30 minutes before Isha, and it's imperative you turn your phone off or you put it away and you don't basically go on any technology, specifically your phone where you're going to be scrolling, you're going to be replying to messages. Just turn all of that off and then do this thing called PTT we'll talk about, and then you can kind of just like think about your goals. Maybe you go over the document we built in the modules earlier. You pray Isha, you do some istighfar, which is important as well. And then you go to sleep. Super simple. Again, stay away from technology. And now the certain systems I need you to build. Very important. Planning tomorrow today. So that's what PTT is. Every successful person, so many of them that I have studied, do this. They plan their next day today. So for example, today is Saturday. Saturday night, I will sit down and plan Sunday. What I'm going to do, the work I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it. I will even build out like the Google Calendar thing you can build up. You can build that out. You can just have a complete schedule. And then also a power list. So the first thing in a power list is very, very simple. You're going to write down your goals for October or for whatever month it is. I'd like to put the goals on the actions I need to put in, not on like the money I want to make or etc. If I put in these actions, I am happy with myself no matter what the outcome is. So for me, it's like, okay, we're going to do 90 reels. We're going to do 16 YouTube videos, 16 emails sent, 3,000 outreach. This is the input I need to put, and that is my goal for October. And then you're going to have your daily non-negotiables as well. For me, it's 3 reels per day, 100 outreach per day, and then 5 prayers and Quran every single day. That's kind of just the non-negotiable. You don't need to put a lot of things, maybe like, I think 4 is a lot, maybe like 2-3 things. And it doesn't need to be a lot, like again, nothing crazy. You can put stuff into fitness, all of that in here as well. And then every day, 1st October, you do 3 reels, 100 outreach, whatever. It will be different for you, of course. But you write down 1 to 3 things that are the most crucial, the most important for you to get done. When you're starting off, maybe you just want to do 1 thing. Maybe you do 2 things, and then you can build it up. The less the better, but you want it to be something that's high leverage. And the goal is that after 30 days, we've ticked off at least 1 to 3 things a day. And that compounds into itself from 30 days, from 60, 90. In like 3 months, you've showed up and done so much every single day, and it will compound on itself. And I promise you, if you implement this, you'll be so much more productive than like the average guy, than even how productive you are right now. And this will help you a lot. Now that you've actually gone through the mindset stuff, let's actually go through the sales skills. So this is where you're actually going to be learning sales, everything from appointment setting to closing, a little bit more mindset stuff. I know, but it's very, very important. And if you want the specific sales scripts that I go over in this video and the specific documents, just go join my free school community in the description below. It gives you access to all of this stuff and a few bonuses. All right, Bismillah, let's get straight into the sales module, which is basically the meat of the program. And in this module, we're basically going to be obviously going over the entire idea of sales, the psychology and everything. And I wanted to mainly start off by first helping you understand the different type of sales roles, specifically in high ticket remote sales, so you understand what each role is and how it all works and everything like that. So the first thing is an appointment setter, and this is basically your job as an appointment setter is getting qualified calls booked into the calendar. And you're basically going to be qualifying prospects. You might be calling them. Most of the time it's just in the DMs. You're using the creator, the guru's account, and you're DMing people, or people are DMing you first. We'll go more into detail of the entire process, but your job is very, very simple. You mainly either start the convo with the prospect, or sometimes the prospect starts the conversation. Then you qualify the prospect. You know, what are you doing for work? Like basically to see if they've got money. And then we understand their current and desired situation, and you'll see in the next module why that's important. And then we basically sell to them. I know it might not all make sense right now what exactly it is, but simply put, your job is to just get a call booked, so the second role, the closer, can actually close the deal and sell the prospect into the program. So the closer, again, very simple, just closing the deal. So the setter sets the call, closer closes it. Very, very simple. Usually most of the time people start off by being an appointment setter, and then with experience they turn to a closer. That's kind of usually the natural transition, but sometimes you can go straight into a closing role, and it really just depends on your level of experience, how good you are, and the company you're working for. And commission rates, I know you'll probably be a bit interested in that. For an appointment setter, it's 5% for all of the cash that came in from a deal. So let's say you book 3 calls, one of them closes for, let's say, $5,000, and the guy pays $5,000 paid in full. You'll get 5% of that. And then obviously the closer, let's say he takes 1 call, he closes for $5,000 cash. He'll take 10% commission off that. Very simple stuff, and that's literally it. I'm not going to yap too much here. Let's go straight into the sales psychology in the next module, and we'll take it from there. Alright, in this module, we're going to be breaking down sales psychology and basically understanding why people buy fundamentally. And you might have a common misconception that, sales is this thing, like I'm basically going to be like convincing them to buy. And maybe you're like thinking you need to use some crazy words and sentences together, and it's just this crazy thing, right? But it's actually very, very simple, especially when you understand it the way we're going to basically teach it to you, which is honestly at a very high level. The most successful people use these frameworks, and inshallah, I'm going to break it all down for you. So what I need you to fundamentally understand is that when you're in remote high ticket sales, you're not selling the course, you're selling the transformation that the prospect, the buyer will have. And they've been wanting to have this transformation for a very long time because they're sitting there right now with a current situation and also a desired situation. For example, a fat man wants to lose weight so he can look better and be healthier. A husband and wife want to fix their marriage so they can have a healthy marriage and not divorce or whatever. Just like you want to escape the normal path, you don't want to go to a 9 to 5, be in uni, all this stuff, and have more freedom through an online income so you can take care of your family, you can travel around, all of this stuff. It's the exact same thing. But here's the problem. A lot of the time, these people don't really have clarity on where they are right now and where they want to be. And they will have basically their own limiting beliefs, fear, doubts that they use to hold themselves back from making the change they want to make. And you see this in yourself as well, right? Before you bought into this program, I'm sure there was a lot of fears, doubts, uncertainty in you that stopped you from making a change. Like it wasn't you saw me or you saw this program and that was the first time you wanted to make money online. It was probably something in your mind for a long time. You've tried certain things as well. And it's, again, very similar to what we talked about in the mindset module about changing your identity. And when you change your identity, go from version 1 of you to version 2, there's a lot of fears, there's a lot of doubts and uncertainties. It's the exact same thing here. These people are going to have all of these limiting beliefs, these fears. For example, a fat man will believe that no diet works for him. He will be afraid of going to the gym because he thinks he's going to get judged, and he'll doubt his own abilities to change. And our job, very simply, is to, number one, help this prospect, help this person understand their current situation, that, hey buddy, you're an absolute fatty right now and we need to change. And also help them understand his desired situation, which is already in his own mind. All of these things, he knows he's fat, he knows he wants to have a six-pack, and so he can look good, be healthy, feel better, all of this stuff. And our job is basically to help them get out of their own way, remove all of the negativity, limiting beliefs, fear, doubts, all of that out of their mind so they can actually make the decision they need to make and change their life. Because this is how people are living right now. They don't know where they are. They don't know where they want to get to. It's not clarified in their mind. So firstly, our job is to help them understand where they are, current situation, and where they want to be, their desired situation, and then help them understand what's stopping them from making the transformation. Oh, you have this. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to start. Maybe it's certain limiting beliefs they have. And then we basically, on the call, specifically the sales call, we help them overcome these things. We help them fix their beliefs so they can make the right decision for themselves and buy into basically the program we're selling so they can make the transformation. They can make that jump. Simply put, this is all sales is on a psychological level. You'll be taking the prospect through this little journey, both even in the appointment setting process where you're going to be selling the call to the prospect, and then on the closing where you'll actually be obviously selling it and closing the deal. Now, in the next modules, we're basically going to go over the appointment setting process, which is going to be pretty simple, and that's also a very high level system that I've learned. And then we'll do the whole closing process where we'll really go in the whole psychology of things. Now, let's go straight into the next module. I'll see you there. Alright boys, let's jump straight into the appointment setting masterclass, where I'm going to be basically explaining how you're going to be able to get calls booked through the DMs as a setter. So we'll be basically going over the different type of leads, and specifically the conversational flow slash script and exactly how you'll be getting calls booked and all different openers. And then I'll also give you an example at the very end. Now, number one, let's actually talk about the type of leads you'll be getting in the DMs and how we have a different approach to handle each lead. So a lead is basically like a person messages. So it will be an inbound lead is a person or a prospect that messages the guru or the creator first, and they typically will have like a keyword. So for example, if you look at my Instagram bio, I have a keyword of halal. Most creators have some form of keyword if they are selling a high ticket product. So you basically, like, they will get a message, someone will message me halal, and then that is an inbound lead because they're showing interest up front and they kind of want to work with me. They want mentorship, etc. The second type is an outbound lead. So this is when you message the prospect first. So it's outside in a way, and you message them first, you spark the conversation and then try to get them booked in. Regardless of the type of lead they are, whether it's an inbound lead or an outbound lead, the relative script slash flow is going to be almost the exact same, except at the very start. So let's go straight into the flow and it will all make sense. I know this seems, again, like a lot, but it will make sense to you, just trust me. Firstly, as I said, the flow of every conversation is going to be the exact same. So you don't need to really come up with a new type of word, new type of script or anything. You're basically going to be not copy pasting, but almost copy pasting each message to different prospects. So it would mainly look like, firstly, if it's an inbound lead, so they've messaged you first, you're going to have a personalized opening, and then you're going to set the agenda. Then you do a light qualifying question to make sure if they've actually got money, if they actually can invest into the program. And then basically it's very similar to the psychology we mentioned before, where we try to understand their goals, kind of why they want to even achieve their goals. So basically their desired situation, and then we also understand their current situation and see what problems or obstacles they're facing. Very simple. We also get their commitment levels, so how committed they are to this whole process. And from there, we basically pitch the call and ask permission to send the booking link. And then fast forward that, they'll sign up on Calendly or whatever, and then usually on the Calendly you'll have basically like a further qualification questions on whether they have money, and you basically build rapport after you get them booked in. We'll go over it step by step, don't worry. Firstly, actually the personalized opening and setting the agenda, very important. So when they've messaged us, we can just do a simple, hey, thanks for reaching out, name. It's pretty good in sales, especially in the DMs, to use their name, to say it back to them. And even as you see, we'll go forward, even to kind of almost say back what they just told us or make them feel understood in the DMs and also on the sales call, as we'll learn moving forward. If they don't have a name, just use brother, doesn't really matter. Again, this really depends on your niche as well. So of course, if it's like a woman, you're not going to call her brother. So it really depends on the type of offer you're on, etc. But just keep it relatively like, just use your brain. It's not that complicated. So anyways, we do, hey, thanks for reaching out. Cool if I ask you a few questions to see how I can help. Boom. They say, oh yeah, of course. And then we basically go straight into a qualifying question. And this really depends on the guru you're working with. So for example, with me, a lot of my audience is like from a third world country. So this is a really good question to ask. I don't usually use dope, but I'll basically ask, yo bro, where you from? And they'll tell me, oh, I'm from here. And then for a second question, I'll ask, what do you do for work? So you might want to do this as well. You might want to break the questions up, especially if they're an outbound lead. So I've messaged them first. I'll just start off with this, build some rapport using where they are, and then go straight into what they're doing for work. And then we just go straight into their motivations, their goals. Awesome, man. So what inspired you to reach out? Or awesome, what's your goal with fitness? What are you trying to do with bodybuilding? Again, depends on the offer, but we basically get their motivation, their goals, and then understand basically the underlying reason behind why they want to achieve their goals. Because people don't want to make money online just for the sake of making money online, right? They can make money from their jobs. People don't want to lose weight just for the sake of losing weight. There's always another reason. Oh, I want to lose weight because my doctor said I'm getting really unhealthy. I'm getting really fat. and I might die 10 years younger and I want to see my grandparents. Boom, that's such a great reason for them to achieve this goal, or not necessarily great, but a strong reason for them to achieve their goal. And understanding that and helping them basically say it out loud and bring it into reality, because like we spoke about before, people will not have basically an understanding of the problems. They won't understand like, oh, what's going on. So by us having this conversation, even in the DMs, it allows them to understand that, oh, damn, I have this problem. So it's pretty good to get that underlying reason. And we basically go from there again, right? You can use either one of these. Depends on your niche, depends on the offer for the person you're setting for. Number 5, we're basically, again, going to create that gap. It's very similar to what we talked about before. We've got their goals, and then we see where they are right now. So we basically have them say their desired situation, why they want to get there, and then we also get their current situation. And from there, simply we find the problem/obstacle that's holding them back. So for example, they might say, oh, I want to make money online because I want to have freedom and retire my parents. Boom, perfect. And then so in that way, we've got both, right? We know why they want to do it. And then we ask, oh, okay, sweet, man. I guess, what are you doing right now? Are you working? Stuff like that. He'll be like, yeah, I'm working. And I've been watching YouTube videos trying to make money online, but nothing's working. Stuff like that. So we've created that gap. And then we basically find the problem and obstacle. And he'll be like, oh, bro, like, I have no roadmap. I don't know how to start. I don't know the right skills. So then we find all of that stuff. And the last thing, it really, again, depends on the offer and the niche. But you kind of want to understand their commitment levels with a very simple question of, on a scale of 1 to 10, how big of a priority is it for you to get past not knowing how to make money online and achieve your goal of 10K a month so you can retire your parents, for example? So if they say 8 or less, simply put, so for example, I asked that question, he's like, oh, it's a 6. We basically just ask them, oh, why a 7? Why not like a 10 out of 10? Do you want them to be committed to this? You don't want them to be half in, half out. The more committed they are, the higher chance of them actually showing up to the call and even getting closed on the call, and even like booking in the call in the first place, right? Obviously, the more commitment they have to this, the better they will be willing to turn up. Number 1, in booking the call, in showing up to the call, and actually joining the program. So this will just help you throughout your entire process. So it's actually a pretty good question to ask. After this, pitch the call. So for example, they might say a 7, and then you kind of ask them, like, why is it not a 10? They'll tell you a reason. They'll tell you, bro, like, I don't have the time or something like that. They might give you an objection. It's usually a pretty simple objection, and if you handle that, then they'll end up being a 9 or a 10, and then you can pitch the call. Cool if I send you the link over. It's very, very important to not just send the link over without them being like, yeah, let's go, let's get this booked in, let's get inside. I've done this mistake so many times where I've just sent the link without them even agreeing to it or anything, and it's just a higher chance of getting ghosted, a higher chance of them not replying. So firstly, you want to kind of pitch the call and then send the link over. So that you pitch the call, they're like, yeah, let's do it. When can I get set up or whatever for the call? Boom, you send the Calendly link. You get them to do it right then and there. And then from there, what's very important is, number 1, we go look at the Calendly or wherever you're getting these calls booked. And there's usually a qualifying question every creator has, where you see, okay, like he has $5,000 to invest or whatever. So if they have anything less than, depends again on the offer. So sometimes it's $500, sometimes $1,000. You can basically go, oh, bro, I saw that you have like less than $500 to invest. Was that a misclick? Like, are you really that broke? Obviously, you don't want to say, are you really that broke? But you kind of go into basically understanding like, oh, well, are they actually that broke? If they are broke, you just tell them, oh, sorry, bro. Like, not necessarily apologize, but you basically tell them, okay, man, like, this is probably isn't a good fit for you right now. Just go save up some money, but let me still help you. Let me send you over X free resource, etc. And that really just helps them build trust, and they also feel like they got something out of it. Regardless, we get that done. And if they are financially qualified, so let's say they have more than $500 or $1,000, whatever is required, you basically go, okay, you just keep the conversation going. And this is a game changer. This is so powerful. This will, number 1, help increase the show rate. So for them showing up to the call for the closer, this will help you a lot, and it just builds a lot of rapport. They're gonna trust the closer a lot more. It's just gonna be perfect. So I'd have this going. Looking forward to speaking to you. By the way, how's life in Australia? How's X country? How's this? And just keeping the conversation going. It doesn't even have to be on the niche around, like, let's say, right, you're setting for a make money online offer. It doesn't necessarily have to be around that. It can just be about them, their life, how things are going for them. They want to travel, etc. Super, super important. Very, very powerful. Don't forget this. Once you get them booked in, keep talking to them, keep the conversation going. Even like simply asking, how's your day been? How are you today? Blah, blah, blah. If you can do it in the right way, super, super powerful. But you want it to be natural. You want it to be not necessarily authentic, because you're speaking kind of from the guru's perspective. But just be real in a way. Keep that conversation going, build it up. And then every 24 hours, 6 hours, and 1 hour, you can kind of send a reminder of, okay, excited to speak to you. And you want to eventually also send a VSO if your creator has that, if the person you're working for has something like that. This just helps in basically a VSO is a video sales letter, and that will increase the chances of them converting. Very simple. Let's actually quickly go over some outbound DM frameworks as well. So this is inbound. This is when they message you. But outbound is simply when you kind of message them first. And this requires a little bit more finesse per se. The most important thing is to make it super, super personalized. You don't want it to be a generic question to start the conversation, because you're basically messaging them out of nowhere. So it's very important to have a strong opener. And if you have a good opener, then it's basically steering the conversation in the right direction and then following the conversational flow we just went over. So different openers you can use are basically, yo, this place looks amazing. If you're replying to a story highlight, something like that, like a genuine message based on something around their profile. So sometimes I might see someone's who's just followed me and they're a bit jacked, or they've got like a shirtless profile picture. Boom, I'll use that. Yo, bro, Allah Mubarak, you're looking jacked, etc. So I'll be like, yo, thanks for the follow. Allah Mubarak, you look jacked. How long have you been training for? So it's actually not even around making money online. They don't even think I'm gonna sell them into something. We're talking about fitness in the first place. And then I finesse it back to the conversation around make money online. And then I'll just use the flow. So you can use basically a bunch of different openers. If you go through their story highlights, if their account's private, something like that, you can again use the profile picture one if it is something interesting. Don't be kind of weird or something, but just go with it. It's very, very important to have just an opener that they could they see that you're not just spamming random people and they're one of them, that you're being genuine. So very important. If they even engage with the content, they're engaging with the guru's content, anything like that, you can just be like, yo, Jordan, appreciate the looking to improve my content. What type of videos would you like to see more of? The goal with this is that when they say something like this, they might say, oh, could you talk about how to grow your biceps? And then that helps get straight into the conversational flow you wanted to get into in the first place. Again, with a new follower, yo, appreciate the follow. What inspired the ad? It really depends the language you use, depending on the niche you're setting for. But this is all just the general framework of it. Again, existing follower, yo, notice you were following and wanted to reach out and connect. Looking to improve the content. What type of videos would you like to see more of? What inspired the follow? It kind of just gets that conversation started. And from there, depending on what they say, you can get them on to basically the flow we talked about before, right? So let's go straight into actually how we're going to make that transition. So the conversation started, you used one of the openers, they replied, they seemed not interested, but they replied. It was a good positive response. And the key to this is to make sure that you're not super needy for the call. You just want to be honestly authentic with it and make a successful transition that doesn't ruin the conversation, right? For example, best example, let's say you went to You just went to like someone and you were like, you wanted to beg for money on the street for some random reason. You go to someone and you like, oh, how's your day been? And they're like, oh yeah, good mate. And then you say, can I borrow $10? Of course they'll say no to you, right? It just doesn't make sense. We've all done that in school. We've had people come up and do that in school where they just say random thing and then try to ask us like for $2 so they can buy something from the canteen. It doesn't necessarily flow, and it just turns the other person off. So what you want is basically for it to be just flowing into where we want it to be. So it doesn't seem like it's done on purpose. It just seems super seamless. Like, oh, it's just a very natural conversation. That is the key for it. And this is just key for sales in general. And you'll be able to use this in all areas of your life. That you just flow the conversation to where you want it to go. So let's say like you're closing for a fitness coach, you're setting for him. If the opener is, oh, like, let's say you reply to your story, damn, that looks good. What restaurant is that? They say the restaurant name. And then you say, oh, cool. Are you into fitness, by the way? It just destroys the opener. And they read that and they're like, oh, he just DM'd me so he could like get me into his fitness coaching or whatever, right? The market is super sophisticated. Everyone knows, everyone's selling a course, coaching, mentorship, and that's okay. It's fine for the market to know that, but we wanted to have more genuine intention, that we actually care about them, because people will like us so much more if they think we care about them. Super powerful. Basically, just transition a lot smoother, right? So let's say again, you same thing. They tell us the restaurant name. Oh, cool. I used to eat out a ton, but I've resorted to like home cooked meals because, you know, I'm trying to put on more muscle. Are you also into fitness, by the way? Boom. So much better, right? We've kind of told them something about us, like, oh, you know, bro, like I'm actually locked in. I'm on my diet. Are you also into fitness? Are you also trying to put on muscle? What's going on? So also very good to break up the messages. You don't want to be really typing up paragraphs. So yeah, you do this. You into fitness, by the way. Now it's just a lot more flowy into the conversation we want to actually have. Then straight into the flow we spoke about before: agenda, what their goal is, why it's important, current situation, obstacle, how important is this for them, pitch the call, post booking, qualify, etc. Very simple. So this is one of the inbound leads I got. So he said hello, he sent it to me. Salam, bro, where you from? Welcome, bro, I'm from Sydney. Of course, as you know, because this niche is different, I can do stuff like salam, all that stuff. If this was for like a non-Muslim, that it was a non-Muslim audience, just non-Muslim leads, this wouldn't make sense. But again, you got to read the room you're in and go from there. But boom, where you from? Sydney. What about you? Oh, same, bro. What are you doing for work here? And boom, I'm at a warehouse, etc. So now I know he has money coming in. I've basically qualified him with both these questions, right? The first two questions, I don't necessarily like to ask like, oh, bro, can I ask you some questions? They've already DM'd me. They're interesting. If they're replying in my head, they're interested. So I'm not really going to be like, ask questions, but it really depends on the lead as well. I think for my niche, this is perfectly fine. So boom, I work at a warehouse right now, blah, blah. And then I would say, okay, nice, bro, I used to do that too, because I did. So I kind of build that relatability. Where are you with online business? Have you started something or you're looking to start? I'm kind of just trying to understand his situation a bit more. And then I basically ask him his goal. So as you notice, I am not using the script fully like word for word. I like to kind of keep it pretty short because I've seen that works for my niche and specifically my audience. So again, it's something you want to test. But I keep it pretty simple, and you want to see how it would work out for the type of audience you're setting for as well. You test it out, but again, it's the same thing. I'm building the current situation, the desired situation, what's stopping them, if they want some help, and then selling the call. And then the post-booking process, as you'll see, is very similar. So boom, he tells me his goal. I ask him what's been holding him back. Bro, I don't know. I have no idea what to do. Been there. Do you want some help? Of course, he's like, yeah. Then I sell him on the call. He gets booked in, and then I go straight into, so right here, could you do it right now so I confirm it on my end? He books the call. I say, sweet. How long have you been training for, by the way? Bro's looking jacked. Allah Mubarak. Why did I say that? Because in his profile picture, he was looking jacked. He had like a shirtless profile picture, so it made sense, right? I went straight into that, and it made him feel good about himself, and just going from there, right? This person has stopped training, but still a good flow, right? I could have told him about my fitness, etc., etc. People want to talk about themselves. People want to feel good about themselves. If you can do that in the DMs anywhere, even at the start, if it's an outbound lead, if it's after you've closed them for the call, you've got them booked in, if you still make them feel good about themselves, it's just going to be a lot better for you. But that's literally it. I know it was like a bit of a longer video, but this is basically everything you need for appointment setting. You can go over this again and again. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me on like school, wherever. Just ask me on the group calls and we can go over it. And yeah, that's literally it. I'll see you in the next module. Alright boys, let's quickly go over the closer mindset. And I want to basically start off by talking about one very key concept, which is conviction. You need to be convinced that the product you are selling, the company you're working for, actually can help the people you're selling to, and that if you don't feel that, if you don't have that conviction, the prospector will feel that, they will not trust you, and they will not buy from you. Very simple. That's literally it. So it's very important that you, before you even get on the call, have a high level of conviction in what you are selling. And naturally, with your tonality and everything you do, subconscious, it's just like a human thing. You will communicate to the prospect that, oh yeah, I believe in what I'm selling. And in fact, there will be multiple times where your conviction will actually be the reason that people buy. It won't even be what you say or how you say it. Actually, it will be how you say it, because it will be in your tonality. But that's literally it. So the way we build up this conviction is that before the call, like maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes before it's time for the call, we basically just give ourselves like just some time and reach a solid state mentally. So we show up with our best self on the call. And if we feel that we're lacking conviction in what we're selling and in what we're doing, we actually basically build that up in our mind. You can go look at testimonials, you can look at student wins, all of that stuff, and remind yourself how potentially, like, look, most of the time, 99% of the time, what you're going to sell is actually going to be helping people. So you need to just understand, okay, this is going to help people, but you can take it to the next level and be like, okay, this is going to help people by them getting financial freedom, them retiring their parents, them losing the weight so they can do X, Y, Z. Really understanding that will help you a lot, and it would actually really help you to get them across the line at the end as well. Secondly, you need to detach from the sale. You are not there to sell anyone into anything. This is more of a consulting session where you only have one job, which is to help the prospect make the best decision for themselves, and at times that will be to not work with you. Not every call has to be a sale. You don't need to get onto that call with the mindset, oh, I need to make a sale. You cannot have this thing called commission breath, because as soon as you start thinking about your own gain, about the commissions you can make, how this money would help you, how it would change your life, all of that stuff, again, the prospect will feel it subconsciously. They will feel that you're only there for your own gain and you don't care about them. You just want to make money, and they will feel that, they will understand it, and again, they will not buy. So again, this is very similar to conviction. Your mind, your intention has to be very, very dialed in. It's important, it's imperative for you to go into this call with the intention to help the prospect, not care about yourself, not care about your own gains, but put the prospect first and focus on an accurate diagnosis and providing them with the right solution, which again, at sometimes, very rarely, would be for them to not work with you. There have been multiple times where I've gotten on a call with someone and told them, sorry bro, I can't help you. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you sharing XYZ with me, but at this moment in time, I cannot help you. So having that mindset of, okay, I don't care about the sale, I don't care about the money, Allah's the razaq, I'll get my risk anyways, I only care about helping this person make the right decision for themselves. You will not come off as desperate on the call, and it will just allow the prospects to trust you a lot more and increase the sales you get anyways. Secondly, You need to be a mirror to the prospect on the call. Again, you want to remove all of your own emotions and thoughts from your day. You might have had 5 calls and you closed none of them, and you'll just feel bad. And you need to basically turn all of that off, put it all away, focus on the call, focus on the prospect and the accurate diagnosis of everything, and basically get on this state of flow. You don't even want to like focus on the questions you can be asking, and basically like, you know, you're focused on, okay, I'm going to ask him this next, I'm going to ask him that. No, you need to focus on what the prospect is saying, relay that back to them, and basically make them feel understood. So how many times in your life does someone spend 20, 30 minutes, an hour just asking you questions, understanding your situation, listening to your pains and problems? That's what's happening here. We're basically their therapist. We're trying to understand their situation, trying to basically help them feel understood as well, may be a bit relatable at times as well. And then we're at the end, we're the doctor. We're giving them a solution. We're telling them, yeah, bro, I understand you have this pain, you have this problem. I appreciate you telling me this. We have the solution for this. Let me tell you about it. That's kind of how it goes. So understanding that will help you a lot. Now let's actually talk about controlling the frame as well, which is also controlling the beliefs of the prospect, and this is very, very key. There will be certain beliefs that the prospect has that are not serving them, and they're actually stopping them from making the change they need to make to get the result they want. And it is our job to help the prospect understand what limiting beliefs they are carrying and how to overcome them. And if we do not remove these beliefs, if we do not help the prospect overcome these limiting beliefs in their mind, they will not buy and they will not make the change they need to make to unlock the next version of themselves and achieve their goals. For example, let's say you had a fat friend and he was fat. You will need to change his belief. Fundamentally, he might not know that he's fat, or he might not know that he can lose weight. He might have some limiting belief. And it is your job as a good friend, it is your duty to tell him, bro, actually you're fat. Something needs to change. Of course, you can be like, yeah, I'll help you with it. But you need to have that, basically that tough conversation, right? We don't want to go to our friends and tell them they're fat, but it's something we have to do. And it's the exact same thing here. You have to challenge the prospect, not in like a bad, like cocky way, but in a helpful way. You want to ask them questions. For example, how a doctor might sometimes, a therapist might. You want to really ask them conversations, have that difficult conversation to help them overcome these beliefs. And the reason for that is when we do that, we help them overcome these things, they can actually make the best decision for themselves. They can actually do what is right for them, which is 99% of the time investing into themselves, getting the knowledge, the skill set to lose weight, to improve their relationships, to make money, whatever it is. Us fixing their beliefs and helping them overcome those limiting beliefs, we empower them, we make them better, we make them stronger. And that's kind of our job. We're the leader on the call, and you doing that for the prospect will change their life, and then it will allow them to commit to the change they've been wanting to make for a long time anyways. That's simply it. Very simple. I know you can recap this as well, but these things are very important. They're imperative to your success as a closer. Not worrying about commissions, detaching from the result, controlling the frame, having those tough conversations, and just having an insane amount of conviction in what you are selling. If you do this, you will be a top 1% closer. And yeah, let's go to the next module where I'll go over the framework. All right, let's get straight into the closing framework. And I'm not really going to be giving you a script here, mainly because in 2025 and just moving forward, the market is very intelligent in a way. They understand that, okay, this is a sales call, XYZ, he's going to have like some form of script. And a lot of like scripted questions, they're just going to understand that it's a script. So it's very important for us to understand the general framework, which is quite simple. And that will allow you to also have just a lot more flow in your conversation and allow you to focus on what the prospect is saying. So you just do a better job at the entire process anyways. But first, let's get into the North Star. And mainly what we're going to be doing here. So these are the questions. It's mainly important for you to understand what the questions are and why we're asking them. And you can kind of word them however you want. But the first thing we're going to do is understand what they want to achieve, how long they've been wanting to achieve it. So basically the desired situation, why they even want to achieve it, and we want to see, okay, where are they right now? What are they currently doing? How long has that been the case? And then, most importantly, we need to understand, okay, why now do they need to make a change? So it's very, very simple. I know I just said a lot of stuff there, but let's get straight into it, right? So first question is, can I ask what specific outcome you're looking for in the next 6 months? So basically what will happen is you're going to get on the call with them. You can build a bit of rapport. It's completely fine. It really also depends on the type of niche, the offer you're setting for. But it's okay to build a little bit of rapport. But you don't want to overdo it, because again, the market understands and they're there to get their problem solved. So they don't really care about the weather or anything like that. Something small is pretty good. So you can basically have a bit of a convo, like start, hey, how are you? Okay, boom. And basically get straight into it, right? So Zain, I saw that you wanted to book the call. I guess tell me, man, specifically what sort of outcome are you hoping to achieve? Let's say in the next 6 months. Boom. So we understand what their goal is. And then there's a few things that can happen. Let's say it's a make money online offer, right? They'll say, oh yeah, bro, like I just want to make money online, something like that. They might say that because at the start of the call, they're not going to be as open to you sometimes. Sometimes people will just start yapping and you'll kind of have to cut them off a little bit. But let's say they do that. Then I kind of want to dive deeper into it. Okay, of course, man, we all want to make money online. I guess, is there something specific you're looking to achieve? Oh yeah, bro, like I want to make 10K a month, something like that. So they might tell you, oh, I want to hit 10K a month. And then your next question is asking them why they want to hit 10K a month. Of course, they want to hit this number, but what's behind that for them? Sometimes they might say, oh yeah, I want to like make money online for freedom. I want to take care of my family, XYZ. So they might tell you the why first, and then you can kind of put a number on it, like really quantify it and say, okay, man, that makes great sense. I guess tell me, is there a specific number you're looking to achieve that will allow you to have the freedom and retire your mom, for example? You kind of do that. You solidify what they want to achieve, why they want to achieve it, and then you try to understand how long that's been a goal for them. Like, okay, man, that makes sense. I guess how long have you been wanting to get to 10K a month so you can obviously, have that freedom, take care of your mom? Boom. Now they tell you, okay, yeah, boom. And if you look at it as well, right, I'm not necessarily following this word for word, but I'm kind of relaying it back to the prospect, what he just told me. He said, oh yeah, I want to achieve 10K a month. I want to do it for freedom for my mom. So I'm kind of mentioning that, not necessarily quickly, but in just a few words. So just so he knows that I'm listening, that I understand him, which again, as we spoke about before, is important. It will make him feel good about himself. Like, oh, this guy actually cares about me. He's not here just to ask me some random questions, but he's looking at what I'm saying. He's understanding it. And yeah, so that's great as well. Then we basically ask how long that's been a goal for them. And then we see, okay, can I ask, like, where are you, what are you currently right now? Like, just to see how far down the path you are. Again, depends on the offer, depends on the niche. Maybe if they already have a business and they're making 3K a month and they want to get to 10K a month. Or maybe they're at 0 and they're working a job and they want to leave that and just make money online. Or maybe they've lost 2 kilos but they can't lose the rest. Or whatever the case is, right? You'll kind of understand it. It's pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, you just ask what they're doing right now, so their current situation, and then you just dive deep straight into what they're currently doing to achieve their goal. Sometimes it might be nothing, sometimes it will be something. So you kind of want to understand that. And for example, if they have been doing something, so like, oh yeah, but like I've tried drop shipping, I've tried that. And you can kind of even ask more questions into it, like, oh, okay, have you tried a course, stuff like that? Why did it work? Why did it not work? Would be usually the question, like, why didn't it work? And then I guess you can say like, oh, okay, how long have you been doing it that way? How long have you been like trying dropshipping? How long have you been doing XYZ? Again, this is more of a framework. It's not a script. It's just for you to understand them better and basically take them through the whole process. After they've told you all this is where we basically want to get them to admit to themselves that, hey, something needs to change. What I'm doing right now isn't working. And we basically ask them like, okay, man, again, we relay it back to them, their goal. So, bro, you said you wanted to get 10K a month. Do you feel like what you're doing right now will get you there as quick as you like? Or do you feel like we need to make a few small changes to get there? as quick as you like. Basically, the main thing is to say some small changes. You want to say big change because that might kind of like scare them off. You want to just make them feel like, oh, you know, you're really close, you're doing the right things, oh, you're almost there. Again, depends on what they answered before. But you saying, oh, do you feel like you need to make some small changes? Boom, that will open them up a bit more, and they'll be like, yeah, like it's clearly not working, whatever, and they'll kind of open up to you in that way. And then basically, this is a really important question, and this will wrap up our North Star, is basically understanding, okay, why do you need to change now? You can always wait 6 months, you can always wait for tomorrow. Why now? Why is it important for you? You know, so again, you can get into like, besides the obvious, which is obviously, you know, to make more money, besides the obvious, which is obviously to get in good shape and all the rest, because you've been trying to achieve this goal for 6 months, why is it really important for you to make a change now? I usually use now. Today, I feel like sometimes it might scare them off depending on the prospect, or like today, now is always a good, in my opinion, I just use now. So very solid. Why do you feel like you need to make a change now? Boom, they tell you, they relay it back to you, and then boom, you've admitted them to making a change. Sometimes they will say to you, very rarely, that, oh, you know, I don't think I need to make a change today. Like, I think I should wait for 3 months. I should wait for 6 months. And then you want to basically help them understand, like, okay, man, I guess, like, what happens if you wait for 3 months? Would you do it then? But bro, it's only been 6 months, so how long do you want to push it more? I guess, man, tell me, this is another thing you can do, which is basically identity frame them. You can be like, okay, yeah, man, I get it. Like, I get why you would want to push it forward for 3 months, but tell me, man, does the version of you that actually makes 10K a month, does he keep saying, oh, I'll start tomorrow? Because quite frankly, man, like, it has been 6 months, right? I'm sure you've been saying, oh, I'll start tomorrow for 6 months already. So tell me, the version of you that makes 10K a month, when does he say today rather than 3 months? Which one does he pick? Boom, you kind of help them understand it. And again, this is what we spoke about before. It's frame control. It's helping them overcome that belief. Very simple. The second thing is, after we've gotten all of that, is basically to help them understand what their life will look like once they've actually achieved what they want to achieve. So you can say, hey, hypothetically, let's say you're a good fit. I get you inside the program. We teach you all the skills. We develop your mindset. We keep you accountable. And you achieve 10K a month. What would that do for you on a personal level? So we want to kind of really make them just feel the emotions. Really get, not necessarily just, dive deep here. Make them feel like what life would look like. Really envision it. You know, you can ask different questions. Okay, what would that do for your family, making that type of money? What would you losing 10 kilos do for your family? How will life be different then? Would it be similar to right now? How will it feel personally for you to be at X outcome? You kind of want to really get them into the emotion. So they might say, oh yeah, you know, like, I would move to Dubai. Okay, man, is there like, let's say he says, oh yeah, bro, I would want like move to another country. You can ask, oh, where in Dubai do you want, not in Dubai, what country do you want to go to? And he'll be like, oh yeah, I want to go to Dubai. Boom. You want to kind of really double down as well. It's really, really simple. And it's kind of you basically helping them understand, okay, this is where you are, and making them kind of feel that emotion of them almost achieving it in a way as well. Sometimes you might not be getting like a good response from it, so you can always switch it up. You can go negative to positive. They might not be opening up to you as much, so you can be like, okay, man, like, I guess, how long have you been wanting to be in a position to provide for your family the way you like to? You'd be like, yeah, man, like, I've been wanting to do it for 3 months. So I guess, man, I feel like So I guess, man, tell me, like, how would it feel when you are providing for them, when you are making 10K a month and actually in a position to take care of your family the way you always like to? Boom, they'll tell it to you in that way. And again, you're wrapping them up in that emotion, really making them feel that way. And right after you've done that, you want to really kind of drop the hammer and tell them, man, like, that is all the top of the mountain. You achieving financial freedom, you retiring your family, all that stuff. Now, there's always two sides to the coin, and I'm sure you've already thought about this as well, but what if you don't get there? What if another 4 years go by and you're not making 10K a month? How would that make you feel? So this is super powerful, because we've, number one, built up what they want to achieve, what their ideal life will look like, made them feel those positive emotions, and then we've kind of almost dropped the hammer and brought them back, not only down to earth, but like even below, right? We've taken them, okay, what if nothing changes? and time goes by like it already has, right? They knew they don't want to change today. They know they don't want to lose weight today, that they didn't want to make money online today, that they've been wanting to do this for a hot minute. So us helping them understand, like, okay, you've been wanting to do this, let's say another 4 years go by and you still don't achieve it, how would that make you feel? Is that something you're willing to settle for? Why not though? Because most people do. So really wrapping them up in the emotion and then making them feel kind of almost like, okay, I need to make some change. Making them basically feel that urgency, and also helping them understand who is in control of whether they actually achieve the goals they want to achieve. Because here's the thing, at the end of the call, you might get an objection. Oh, you know, I need to ask my wife, I need to ask my this, that, I need to ask my dog, whatever it is. But when you do this, you can basically understand or help them understand. So by helping them basically admit that they're the ones in control, that they're the ones that are responsible, we can basically remove a lot of the objections and a lot of the problems we'll get later on. Simply that. So number one, let's look at kind of what we've done so far, right? First, we've understood their situation a lot better and mainly made them feel like something needs to change, and it needs to change now, today. Then secondly, we've helped them basically visualize and wrap them up in the emotions of them achieving what they want to achieve. And then we've brought them back to planet Earth and made them feel like, oh no, like it's not always sunshine and rainbows. It might not happen, right? Is that something you're willing to settle for? And kind of really help them feel the negative side of things as well, and admit to themselves and to us that they're the ones in control of actually making this happen. So that removes a little bit of resistance you might get later on. From here, very simply, we just transition to the pitch, and this is where a lot of people go wrong. They will ramble on about what the prospect will get, what the offer is, and they'll just yap a lot, and they'll yap a lot about certain things that the prospect doesn't really care about. The prospect, just like every other human being, only cares about themselves. So it's very important that our pitch, we tailor it to what the prospect wants to hear. Now that might seem a bit like shady, etc., but from our discovery, from just the first entire section of the call, we understand that there are certain things the prospect wants, and we're going to mainly help them. Also we're going to understand what's not been working. They might have mentioned, I just lack accountability, I'm not willing to put in the work, I don't know what to do, I don't have a roadmap. They would have communicated these things to you in a certain way, and you want to basically take notes of them, and you can even write them down. And what we're going to do in our pitch is to help them understand that the problems they're facing right now, we have solutions to them. Specifically, their problems, we have specific solutions. And by us giving them our solutions, they will be able to achieve the goal they want to achieve. Very, very simple. So we're not going to ramble on about, let's say someone talks about, oh yeah, I need accountability. Well, we're not going to talk about oh bro, there's a course here, they're not really going to care. They want accountability from some sort of thing. So yeah, that's the main thing. So we mainly transition into the thing. We go, okay, so from everything we've gone over, John, I can definitely help you. Do you want me to go over how everything works, and we can go from there? So they say, yeah, okay. So the way this works is we help you achieve X goal. We help you get to 10K a month through a 3-month transformation. And there are a couple of ways we help you make that happen. Pillar 1, remember how you're struggling with not being held accountable. We actually have an accountability coach. Remember how you didn't have a roadmap? Well, we actually have an entire step-by-step process that we will give to you on our onboarding call, and it's literally a complete roadmap of what day 0 to day 90 will look like, and every day and week of you being inside the program, you'll have complete clarity on what you need to do and how you need to do it. Boom. Pillar 3. You yap something else that they talked about, and you give them the solution to that. And every time we say something like this, we kind of want to take a bit of a pause and just double check with them. Make sense? Is all of that making sense to you? So I know I've said make sense 3 times here, but you can say make sense. Does that make sense to you? Are you with me? Are you following along? Is all of that making sense for you? Just something like that, so they feel like they're still part of the conversation. You're not just yapping on over again, just like every other mid closer who can't close that well. we're experts, we're the best closers to ever exist. So obviously we're going to make the prospects still feel like they're part of the conversation and help them understand that the problems they have, we've got solutions to them, and that's why they will win. So they might even mention, oh yeah, I was in this other program, but they didn't have group calls, or the group calls were in another time zone. So we help them understand, no, our group calls are actually perfect for a time zone. Boom. So again, that's very important. It's very imperative. And the last element, which is actually also very important, is we basically kind of want to get them bought in before actually like paying. And let's just go over the example, right? So John, from everything we've covered, how do you feel? From everything we've covered, John, do you feel like this can actually help you get to 10K a month? This can actually help you lose weight? Oh yeah, it can, man. Yeah, sounds good. Oh, okay, awesome. That's good to hear, John. I guess, why do you feel like it can? So we're basically getting them to admit this can help me in my situation, blah, blah, blah. And then we do a double tie down and make them feel like, okay, yeah, boom. It can help me because of the coaching. It can help me because of the accountability. It can help me of XYZ, of basically what we pitch them on. And yeah, that's literally it. From here, you can drop the price, which I will add right here. And you can basically say, okay, man, if all of that makes sense, the next steps are going to be pretty simple. We're basically going to go over the pricing and then we'll get you onboarded, okay? And when you say that, they'll be like, yeah, what's the price? They'll ask you, you tell them the price, and you just shut up. You don't say anything after you've said the price. If they might take a minute to think about it, they might take 2 minutes to think about it. They might give you an objection, and that's what we're going to cover in the next thing. Or they might just buy from you as well. That happens as well. So yeah, you don't want to talk yourself out of the sale. You've done it all perfectly to this point. Now it's just about getting it across the line, either handling their objection or taking their money. Very simply. So yeah, that's literally it. I hope all of this makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. I know there's a lot we kind of went over, but yeah, let's go straight into objection handling. Alright boys, in this video we're going to be going exactly how to handle objections from a prospect. But first, let's quickly understand what an objection is. Because fundamentally, after you have pitched the price, we've gone through the entire sales process and you've told them the price, oh, it's 5K for 3 months, whatever. And anything other than a yes, anything other than, okay, let's do it, send me the payment link, let's get inside, blah, blah, blah. Anything other than that is some form of objection. And inshallah, we're going to cover this. And the reason objection handling is such an important skill is because anyone can really just read off a script. Anyone can ask questions and just go through the first basically half or 80% of the call. But objection handling is where it's really like, it is the most important skill. It's when you're really on the line. Most people are bad at it. But if you can really nail this down, you're going to be a very, very elite closer. And on top of this, people think objection handling is super complex and they kind of are afraid of it. Objections are going to pop up when you are on a call. You're there to solve the objection. Anyone could have done the first part. Your job is to handle their objections and to get them across the line. Otherwise, we wouldn't need to have this call in the first place, right? So don't think of them as a negative thing. Don't think you've messed up somewhere if an objection does come up. It's part of the job and it's a very important skill. And inshallah, this training is phenomenal. I've paid 10K to learn all of this. So it's going to help you a lot. Now, firstly, there are 5 main objections. Number 1, I need to think about it. Number 2, I need to ask my partner. Number 3, money. 4, fear. 5, logistics. But here's the thing. The first 2, I need to think about it and I need to ask my partner, are literally smoke screens. They're cover-ups and they're not the real objection. And you can basically, the real objection is basically money, fear, logistics. But there are really just 2 main objections. Think about it and partner. But there are really just 3 main objections. Think about it and partner are literal smoke screens. They're cover-ups from the real objection. What they really are kind of objecting from is either money, fear, or logistics. And here's how we can handle it. Let's say that we tell them the price. We say, yeah, it's 5K for 6 months. They tell us, I need to think about it. Yeah, sounds good, man. That's completely okay. Can I ask, before you do go think about this, do you feel like what we went over today can get you to your goal of 10K a month? Because that's obviously, the most important thing. So you're going to see a certain pattern in most of these objection handling frameworks as well, and you'll understand as we go along. But the first thing I always do, and you should do, is basically kind of, you don't want them to just say something and you kind of just ignore it in a way. So I say, yeah, sounds good, man. Yeah, that's okay. And a lot of people, a lot of closers will try to get super salesy. You cannot force the prospect to make a decision. You know, like, you can't, like, just in normal human interactions, you can't really force someone to do something. They're going to have to want to do it themselves 99% of the time. And it's better when they decide to do it themselves. You got to influence them. So that's what we're doing here. Yeah, sounds good, man. Like, I'm chill about it. I don't really care. Again, not needy for the sale. Yeah, sounds good. Can I ask, before you do go think about this, do you feel like what we went over today can actually help you to getting to your goal? So whatever the goal is, getting to 10K a month, losing 10 kilos, because you know that's obviously the most important thing. We're basically, in a way, tying them down and getting them bought in, or them admitting that, oh yeah, this can help me. So they'll be like, oh yeah, this can definitely help me. And then from there, we just say, okay, that's good to hear. Why do you feel like it can? So it's almost kind of doubling it down, you know? Okay, this can help me. So in their own mind, they're saying, okay, this can help me. And it can help me because of the courses, the group calls, the support, whatever it is. So they'll say all of that to you. We understand that, okay, now they're ready to get objection handled. Because they've admitted to themselves and us that this is actually going to help them, this is going to be valuable for them, and they actually need this. We've come to that agreement, the most important thing. So this is going to be fundamental. You're going to see this, we're going to do this almost every time. So this is very, very fundamental. We get them bought in, and we get them to admit that they're ready to go. From here, if it's a wishy-washy answer, right? Their tonality is a bit off, you'll feel it, you'll see their face, etc. And maybe they're just kind of like halving it, right? Like, oh, the course, the whatever. Okay, can I ask, John, like, why those things in particular? So you're kind of almost tripling him down, right? Like, he's going more in depth. Maybe he says, yeah, I think it can help me. The course seems fine. The course seems good. Then you can kind of double it or triple it down, really. With that, he'll yap a bit more, really get bought into it. Okay, cool, John. So John. So when you do go think about it, what specifically would you say is coming up for you that you do want to think about? Just so if I can see, I can help you, you know? Now, because we know that think about it is just an objection, he'll give us kind of the real thing. So from here, it will be either like partner, money, logistics, fear. So again, partner is another smoke screen. So he might say, I just need to ask my wife. Yeah, that's not a problem, John. I have a wife as well, so I completely understand. And just before you go ask your partner, do you feel like everything we went over today can actually help you get to 10K a month? Because, that's obviously the most important thing. So again, it really depends on this. If you've already asked this before, we're not going to ask this again. But let's say we're just assuming that they're kind of starting from the start, right? Like, they're saying, I need to speak to my partner. That's kind of the first objection. Yeah, of course, man. That's good to hear. If we've already done all of this, which is very similar to what we did before, then we can kind of just go into here. We'll go into there. We'll go over it by that point, but you kind of just skip the start and the initial boarding, them admitting that this will help them. So let's say, because that's obviously the most important thing, they say yes. Okay, that's good to hear. Why do you feel like you can? If they have negative uncertainty, let's say you ask them, okay, do you feel like this can actually help you get to your goal of 10K a month? And they say, yeah, I think like possibly, like, yeah, maybe it could help me. If they're just seeming in the middle, they don't seem super certain. It's not like, oh yeah, this can definitely help me. Oh yeah, this can definitely help me. And they're kind of in the middle. We'll basically say, okay, that's all right. It just feels like you're in the middle, and that's not a problem. But I guess from everything we've just gone over, what parts would you say can't help you get to 10K a month? Like, what parts are you unsure of? That way, we're kind of getting them in their mind to us admit, like, okay, they're not really usually going to come up with something that can't help them, right? Like, oh, the course won't help me, or this won't help me. Most of the things inside, like, everything is there to help them. So they might say, oh, nothing maybe comes in mind, or this doesn't come, or maybe this won't help me, whatever. Okay, cool. And from everything we went over, what parts do you think would be able to actually help you getting to 10K a month? Then they say, oh, the course is nice, the support is nice, blah, blah, blah. So we've kind of just made them realize in their own mind, like, oh, you don't really have like kind of like, do you know this can help you, right? They kind of just admitted that to themselves. And then from there, okay, that makes sense. So can I ask, when you go speak to your wife, when you go speak to your husband, what do you feel like would be the potential obstacle that may have stopped you and them from moving forward in the past with something like this? So a few things are very important here. What do you feel like would be the potential obstacle that may have stopped you and them? So we kind of ask them, okay, like, what do you think's going to be the main objection from you, from your partner? And we don't want to say, okay, what do you think your partner would say? Because then they'll be like, oh, I don't know, I'll have to ask her, and we won't really get that answer that we need. So when we say something like in the past, then they kind of have to give us an answer, right? From here, they'll literally tell us, oh, it's a lot of money, or I'm uncertain, or fear, something like that, or logistics. Oh, Zayn, it's just a lot of money right now. Look, John, that's not a problem. I completely get that, and I can see how the investment can seem like a bit of a big deal and a bit of a big step. But, you going from 0K a month stuck in your 9 to 5 to making 10K a month online is also a big step, right? So, money aside, because honestly, that's the easy stuff. In your opinion, do you feel like what we do can get you to your goal? So 2 things here. Number 1, again, I'm helping him like understand, like, okay, I hear you, I'm listening to you, don't worry, G. And we're also kind of showing him that the transformation he wants to make, he wants to lose 10 kilos, 20 kilos and change his life, which is always going to be a big transformation, is also a big step. Like, he's asking big things from us as well, right? We're going to help him make 10K a month online. That's a big thing for me as well, G. So it kind of puts the investment into, it puts the investment into perspective with the transformation they want to make. And then the second thing is, again, money aside, because that's the easy stuff. In your opinion, do you feel like what we do can get you to your goal? Again, very similar to everything we've done before. We're getting them bought in. Again, yes, I do think this can help me. Okay, that's good to hear. Why do you feel like it can? If wishy-washy, okay, can I ask why those things in particular? And from here, right, we get them bought in. They say yes. So we're basically going to do a bit of a tie down. So John, would you say for you personally, is it a case of uncertainty around the investment, or is it just that you don't have the full investment right now? And they'll go in either bucket. They might say, oh, no, I do have the 10K. It's just like, I guess it will be uncertainties, something like that. Okay. So you would say that's just, a bit of uncertainty, because that's what I'm hearing, right? We kind of relay it back to them, get them to say yes again, bought into that. That's completely fine. What would you say the uncertainty is about specifically? Is it around the program, yourself? Is it the company? Or would you say it's me? Maybe my breath stinks or something. Like, just help me understand. I like to kind of put a joke in here a bit, like, oh, my breath stinks. Obviously, I brush my teeth. My breath does not stink, and they can't smell it anyways. But it's a bit of a joke. They'll laugh, they'll smile. It removes a bit of the tension, and it's pretty good. You can kind of, use my joke, whatever. But from here, they'll kind of tell you, like, oh, it's about X thing. It's about Y thing, blah, blah. And if it is mainly, like, maybe themselves, and just kind of uncertainty in general, we'll basically say, okay, so John, would you say that what you're looking for here is certainty? Certainty that what we do will get you to where you want to go, right? Now you have mentioned that you feel like we can. Like, we came to that agreement, right? That this is going to be helpful for you. Obviously, everything in the past, we've already asked them that before. Like, money aside, you feel like this can help, blah, blah. And they say, yeah, we can. Okay, John, but the other side of it, if you don't do it, how will you ever know? Like, how would you get that certainty? They'll kind of maybe not say anything, maybe say, yeah, blah, blah. So you're at a bridge, unfortunately. On one side of the bridge is your goals. I like to use my hands as well. So one side of the bridge are your goals. 10K a month, your parents are retired, you don't have to work a job, you have 100% freedom in your life. And the other side of the bridge is where you are today. You're stuck in your 9 to 5. You're fat, you're broke, whatever. And all that is in the middle are decisions and commitments you need to make on a daily basis. And unfortunately, I can't do that for you, and no one else can. But you have to make a decision whether you want to stay on this side of the bridge, or do you want to make the decision, commit, and get to the other side of the bridge one step at a time. So can I ask, first and foremost, are you willing to actually back yourself every day? Do every single thing needed to make sure it works for you and your family? Yes or no? Why though? And this is where they'll say, yeah, of course, blah. Why though? Because you don't have to, and most people don't. They'll be like, because I need to XYZ, like I retire my family, blah, blah. They'll go more deeper into it. So what would you say you'd do if all you had to do was be there? And we took care of everything else you needed to hit 10K a month? Because that's the question. What would you do if you couldn't fail? Would you do it then? And they'll be like, yeah, of course I'll do it then. But how will you know if you don't commit to yourself? We can put that line in the sand and go for it and meet that fear head on, or we can crumble and go back to our current situation where we're not making any money online, we're stuck in our 9 to 5, and with all due respect, settle for just the average life. What is the decision the best you makes right now? The man you want to be, the version of you who makes 10K a month, the version of you who's lost 10 kilos and has a six-pack. How do you feel like he makes this decision? Does he face the fear and overcome it to achieve his goals? Or does he let the fear overcome him and stay where he is right now, where he can't provide for his family the way he wants to? Boom. So I know I was just yapping a lot there, but there's a few different things we're doing here. Number one, the bridge, we're showing them you actually need to commit to yourself. And this is the big one here. If you knew you couldn't fail, would you do it? And they're going to say yes every time because they're afraid of failure. They think it won't work. So once we get them to say yes to that, again, how will you know if you don't commit to yourself? Because that's the fact. If they actually do commit to themselves, they're going to get results. And basically you get okay, let's put a line in the sand and go for it and meet that fear head on. Or we can crumble and go back to where we are right now, and with all due respect. So we kind of just tell them they actually need to commit, they actually need to make that decision and face that fear, face that uncertainty, or they're not going to be able to make the change they want to make. And then from here, we basically identity frame them. What is the decision the best you makes right now? And look, if some of you, like the ones of you who have bought this, I might have done this to you as well. I might have done some form of identity framing. It's super powerful. I would have asked you, okay, what decision does the version of you that makes 10K a month make? And you can do this in even earlier on the call, even at the end right here as well, right? What is the decision the best version of you makes right now? The man you want to be. What does the 10K a month version of you do? Does he invest in himself? Does he overcome this fear and uncertainty and literally just put money on himself so he can learn this skill set and provide for his family the way he wants to? Or does he just not do anything? And they'll say, yeah, of course he invests in himself, blah, blah, blah. And you do this as well when they say, it's a lot of money. Well, it is a lot of money to you right now, but would it be a lot of money to the 10K a month version of you? So if we can bring that identity framing in and get them to make the decision based on where they want to be and not where they are, it's super, super powerful. So that's kind of what we're doing here at the end. Again, does he face the fear and overcome it to achieve the goal, or does he let the fear and uncertainty overcome him and stay at his goal? That's like the final thing. They'll say, yes, of course he faces the fear. Of course he does X, Y, Z. And then we basically say, okay, then, are you actually ready to commit to yourself, invest in your own skill set, or whatever it is, right? So are you actually, so would you say you're ready to commit to yourself and get started with this and get to your goal? Boom. They say, yeah, boom, we take the sale. And that's literally it, boys. Of course, there's still logistics. Let's say it's like a logistical problem. They don't have the 5K in their bank, blah, blah, blah. Okay, John, that's all right. Would you say that the issue is with the logistics of the investment rather than us getting you to 10K a month rather than us getting you a six-pack. So in that case, would you like me to see how we can break this down to a more manageable process for you rather than you investing it all at once? Would that help you move forward so we can help you get to 10K a month? They'll say yes. So we can do, you kind of just give them the option. Okay, we can do 5K. The company you're working for, whatever you're doing, you will have some form of payment plan. So it's not a big problem. Like, you'll know what the options are. And this is the easiest one. This is pretty simple. They're already bought in. They trust you. They just need a bit of a payment plan. Okay, let's do 2K, 5K, whatever. You can break it down however you need to. And yeah, that's literally it. I know there's a lot. You can review it, but I'm sure you can understand that it all makes sense. It's all pretty simple in a way. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it is pretty simple. And once you get a hang of this, and once you start saying it with the right tonality, and you start saying it, asking the right questions, you're going to help them make the best decision for themselves and actually transform and actually change. And you'll close a lot more. You can write these down, you can practice them, role play them, and yeah. Okay, now that we have leveled up our mindset, our productivity, we know how to barak our max, we have also gone through some sales training. Let's actually talk about how to land a role and actually start monetizing this and making money for ourselves and our families. All right, boys, let's quickly go over the mindset for landing a role. And inshallah, in the next module, we're going to go over exactly the step-by-step on landing a role. But I wanted to go over this because you might come into this, like, it's going to be hard to land a role. And a lot of people will give up here. They've learned this skill of sales. Yeah, it's fine, it's funny, like, it's interesting, nice. But they will give up here and not land a solid role. But you need to realize that with the right mindset, you can find a role, a good role that can literally make you 6 figures a year easily, and you can develop your skill set from there. And the first thing I need you to understand, like, patience is virtue. You need to understand, like, everything's not in your control. And the best thing you can do, in not only just for landing a role, but in general, is just to trust Allah's plan and put your trust on Him, just rely on Him. And just do everything on your end, from applying to as many roles, doing as much outreach, and just put in as much input on your end, but trust Allah. He's the Razak. He's going to provide for you. Trust the process. Keep pushing. Secondly, it's a numbers game. Do more. Apply to more roles. There's nothing stopping you from applying to 100 roles a day. Focus on the inputs, and you will get the result you want. Don't think, this is bad, blah, blah, I'm not landing a role. Just do such insane amounts of volume that would be impossible for you to fail. It would be impossible for you to not lose a role. If you go apply to 10,000 applications to roles, you do outreach, etc., is it impossible that you won't get a role? No, you will, right? Surely at least out of one of those 10,000 people will hire you. So it's the exact same thing. And I'm not even saying you got to do 10,000, but do understand that it is a numbers game, and sales in general is a numbers game. Number 3, become a top 1% sales rep. I know this is not something you can do just for your first role, but in general, have this mindset that I want to get so good. My skill set and everything is so good that I reach a point where it's not even difficult for me to find a role. The roles are coming to me. So prioritize your skill set, learn and practice as much as you can, starting from now. And as you go, you'll just have these people, like, people will come to you. You'll perform at a higher rate. You will make more money. So it's a win-win. Just get better, improve on that. And the market will understand, hey, look, this guy is actually a great closer. This guy is a great setter. Let's make him a closer, blah, blah, blah. So understanding that and having that mindset will help you as well. Lastly, like, fix your beliefs. Do not have the belief that it's hard to get a role, or that you lack experience and that's going to hold you back. Everyone that got a role for the first time lacked experience, but they still got a role, right? So it's not like, you need experience for a role. You can kind of just, if you show you have conviction in certain things we're going to talk about in the next module, but just don't have the belief that this is going to be hard. It is possible for you to land a role. Again, numbers game. Just have the right mindset. Focus on becoming a good sales rep. The role will come. Trust Allah. And yeah, I'm not going to yap too much here, but that's literally it. Alright, in this module, let's go over specifically how to land a role. And there's going to be different things we're going to cover. Let's go straight into, like, Number one, choosing the right business to work with. And this is actually very, very crucial. It's very important, and a lot of people don't think about this. If you're working for someone whose product is a scam, quite frankly, like you're selling something that isn't getting people results and it's just not good. Number one, it's super immoral. Us as Muslims, like obviously we don't want to be like scamming people, right? That's number one. Number two, it's gonna hurt your sales. It's gonna hurt your skill set because you're not gonna have conviction on the call, even if you decide to sell for them, right? And it's important that we have a good business we work for that actually get good results. They're good people, they have morals. And the best way to analyze a business is to just research things like how long they've been in business for, what type of results, testimonials they have, look at reviews online. And you want to see what type of reviews they're getting. Like, have they just paid someone like $5 for a video testimonial? Have they done just like random stuff, like it's not credible. And you want to actually analyze and study the results they're getting as well. And yeah, just see how that, look at Reddit as well. Of course, look, every business, there's, especially in the info space, when you're selling some form of like information, right? There's going to be some people that have good reviews, but they also have like one or two bad reviews as well, right? That's an example. But it's okay. Like obviously they're going to have bad stuff being said as well. But if majority of it seems okay, then go for it, man. It should be fine. Secondly, let's actually talk about the power of personal branding, because building your own personal brand can be one of the most important and powerful things you do in 2025. There's a reason you see so many successful people that are like multi-millionaires. They already have successful businesses, but they still build up their personal brands. It's because it will give you so much leverage and massively help you if you do want to get into business for yourself. But if you just want to get more roles, you want to get better responses, all of that will help you so much in every area of life, specifically your business. This is why obviously we've got an entire chapter coming up on personal branding and content creation. But for now, here's some things you can kind of fix on your profile, specifically with Instagram, because that's kind of where you're going to be doing outreach. But just have a profile with number one, your face in it, so they know who you are, what you kind of look like. Clear picture, clear name. And no like funny usernames, nothing like weird. Have your name in there. Like whenever I get messages from people and if they have no profile picture, if they've got a random name, I just think like, what bimbo is this? Like, who are you, bro? Especially if they're trying to sell me something. Like particularly when they are trying to sell me something, I'm like, bro, what is going on? If they're just a normal person, like I'm doing outreach to them, then that's completely fine. But if someone's trying to sell me something or like trying to give me like editing services and I don't see their name, I don't see their face or anything, like I trust them significantly less. Of course, if it's your personal account, you don't need a profile picture, do whatever you want. But when we're using it for business, when we're doing outreach, it's very, very important that you have your face, you have your name in there. Number two, an optimized bio. Again, this is for business only, but you don't want any goofy stuff in there. You don't want your girl's initials in there. You don't want like some random date, or yeah, just keep it casual, just keep it normal. Maybe leave it empty. Maybe talk about yourself a little bit, like 21 Sydney, boom. Like just keep it something smooth, keep it something simple, and just any low status or just low quality photos. Of course, like I know a lot of like other people, like non-Muslims, will have like them drinking, them partying. Obviously, you don't want to have that on your profile when you are doing outreach. So you want it to be something that shows that, okay, like I'm hardworking, I'm disciplined. So I had one guy reach out to me. He didn't actually have his face in his profile picture, which reduced trust. But yeah, he reached out to me and I could see from his profile picture, he was on the grind. He was showing that the books he was reading and the things he was doing. And I was like, okay, I actually respected him. I was like, okay, he's putting in the work, he's grinding, etc. I respected that and he got a response from me. Also, last thing, do not have a private account. Again, you're using this for business opportunities. So yeah, don't need to have a private account. People need to go through it, see, and you'll just get better responses. You want to, at the end of the day, come across as a professional who's focused on his work, who gets the job done. Still, like I said with the kid, right? Show your productive hobbies, the different things you're doing. Oh, I'm reading books, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm traveling to this country. Whatever you've done, kind of come across as a bit cool. Again, you don't need to do anything crazy, but just simple stuff. And when you do start posting, post valuable content and personally sell them on you. Share your story, document your journey, document what you're doing in a day, and just provide, just by like overall providing value, you'll attract opportunities rather than you chasing them. Now, let's actually talk about how to find businesses and clients. So first, sit down, just pick a few niches you want to work with. So the main niches are obviously like business, finance, like fitness, relationships. Those are the main ones, right? But you want to be a bit more narrow, right? Because in business, in general, there's like e-com coach, Airbnb, content coach, this coach, that coach. And again, there's stuff like spiritual stuff as well, right? Like Arabic coach, marriage coach. And you don't necessarily need to search up coach, but it does. We'll do this together. Just pick a few niches. So let's say I want to do Muslim fitness coach, for example. Muslim fitness. Okay, boom. We've got this guy that comes up. Okay, sweet. You could probably outreach to him. He's got 6K followers. Maybe it will be a good fit. Another thing that works is actually just going like this. So you'll have a lot more people come in. Okay, let's reach out to this guy. That can mean your list. And on the laptop it's a bit harder, but on the phone you can just start following these guys, and we'll go over specific strategies. Okay, let's do this guy. Maybe you want what's it called, an e-com coach. E-com, yeah, let's say this guy. This guy used to have an agency course. Anyways, I used to watch him back in there. That's funny. Anyways, let's say you reach out to this guy. Again, then you can do the plus thing, and now you're going to have more e-com coaches. So this way you can find like easily, like there's hundreds and hundreds of these people, thousands of them, right? And you want someone who's got DM start to learn more. Okay, now he's got a setter in there. Make money, build freedom. So very clearly he's selling some form of info product. You know, you can see it. Santiago, whatever. Yeah, clearly he's selling something. He's got a link tree as well to, it's pretty unoptimal, but anyways, he's selling something. Again, let's go this guy, Jose, whatever. Join our Discord to learn our proven scaling methods. Okay, so he's definitely selling something, but he's not having a setting person. Like there's no like keyword. He might still need a salesperson. He might need a closer. So it's still worth giving a message, right? Let's go this guy. I post the full behind the scenes here. So I wouldn't really go for him. He doesn't have that much clout, and I'm not sure if he's actually selling anything. But yeah, that's kind of how you can actually find businesses in the first place. It's pretty simple. Instagram's pretty powerful. And yeah, that's basically it. You can start outreaching to people from here. And it is a numbers game. But I want you to understand that you don't want to just spam volume. You want to have high quality messages. You don't want to just be copy pasting stuff. You can, but it's not going to be the highest ROI because you won't stand out. Like I know when someone just pastes a message, right? And I'm like, bro, like I lose respect. You're not going to get a response that way most of the time. But the way you can stand out from everyone else trying to just pitch their business to this business owner, right? Like, oh, I'll edit for you. I'll do XYZ for you. I'll set for you. I'll close for you. You want to have basically a higher chance of them responding to you. And the best way to do that is actually by providing some value. It's by building kind of an actual relationship. You know, you might follow someone. You don't need to message them the first day, right? You got to have riz with it, boys. You can't just be like, oh, you know, like imagine like, yeah, just don't be super needy for it. You can if you're really desperate, but I would want to have more riz with it. Maybe you send a certain message where you're giving value. Hey John, I saw XYZ and I think you should actually improve it by this because I think that has worked well for us, even though if you don't work for someone else. Just kind of give value, learn the game, right? And that's why we even have a module on going over certain like terms to help you understand like, okay, this is the industry language. Regardless, we'll talk more about that anyways. Give some value. Hey John, not sure if your sales team does this already, but just sending a short 5 to 10 minute pre-call video 24 hours before the call, I've seen improves the show up rate and the call quality. Just a tip that has worked really well for us. When you're giving them value like that, they're gonna like you more. You know, they're gonna provide. They're just gonna trust you more. You're gonna get more responses, and then there's always risk to it as well. Maybe you reply to a story. You send an initial message, they don't respond. You reply to a story. Oh, I love this place. Ha ha ha. You make a funny joke. Just be yourself. Have riz with it. It's so important to have riz with it. A lot of these guys are like basically like famous girls, right? They're getting tons and tons of DMs, tons and tons of like just people trying to reach out to them, trying to get their attention, trying to work with them. But if you have riz, if you got a good profile, and you can just make it work. And following up is so key as well. Like I know I'm going to talk about it later as well, but following up is so key, because you're showing that skill set that you will be following up for them, for their sales team, but you're following up with them. They're going to like it more. There's a guy in my DMs who followed up, who's, I don't even know how many times he's followed up with me anymore. Like, it's got to be more than 10. But I know that I'm going to hire him at one point when I need his certain services, because he's just a G. He's hustling. He's a killer. He's been trying to get work with me for like months now. It just doesn't make sense right now. But whenever I need his services, he's the first person I'm going to reach out to, because he's a G. He's got that hustler mindset. He's in the trenches. He's following up. He's being clever with the follow-ups as well. I respect it. So it's the exact same thing with you, especially because this is sales. When you follow up with people, they're going to be like, damn, he's going to follow up with my leads like this as well. Oh, he's a G, he's a killer. Let me talk to him. Let me give him a chance. Let me hop on a quick interview with him. Super powerful. Also, you can apply in different websites. You can literally just go search up high ticket sales role. So like, let's go on Seek, right? That's kind of like the one here in Australia. I know like other places have Indeed, but literally you can find ones. I want it to be remote. This is actually how I landed my first role. It was literally just through here. And you kind of want to look for one that's like in the education space, something like that. We won't go through it right now, but you'll literally find places like that where it's remote. You're selling some form of, basically like a course or something a bit different. But yeah, that's super powerful as well. And the best thing here is basically to have kind of still a high quality like application, right? So I'll show you. I can just show you right here. So I got an interview, I remember, with this guy's team. So he's pretty big on Instagram. Yeah, I remember like, but they wanted, it wasn't remote. They wanted me to move cities, whatever. But I got an interview with him because when I applied to work with them, he has a very certain type of copywriting style, and I used his copywriting style in my cover letter. So I was clever with it. I was very confident. I had arrogance. I showed like, I was like, I'm a G, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to close really well for you, etc., etc. And I basically wrote a cover letter, and they responded to me pretty quickly. They got back to me, right, and they wanted to, like, they were interested, right? Because my cover letter was different. I used his exact style, the way he writes his sales pages, the way this guy talks, and they respected me. It was for this company. And yeah, you got to be a bit clever. You got to have a bit more, just show that you actually care, show that you actually put in some effort, and you'll get rewarded for it. After, like, you can even apply on the job site, but then reach out to the business on their email, right? You message them on Instagram. Let's say you applied for them. You message them here on Instagram, because they're probably not getting that many messages. Even though it's a lot of followers, this is just like an account, like in general, right? So they're probably not getting a lot of messages. Maybe you search up King Kong sales manager. Literally, you do that. You could literally go find the person they're hiring and manager. Look, we found Michelle. I don't know who that is, but let's say she works there, right? Won't go into detail, but let's say she works there. Now you can message her, hey Michelle, you can connect with her on LinkedIn. Hey Michelle, I saw that you guys were hiring. I would love to work with you. I can do XYZ. And you kind of just reach out to them, try your shot. You reach out to a couple of different people. I remember Alex and Muzi talking about like how one time they hired this 18-year-old kid who had reached out to everyone in the company, people who weren't even in the sales department, and just reached out to them, just getting in front of people. And eventually people were like, who is this kid, reaching out to everyone in the company, and they hired him. if you do that stuff and you go above and beyond and you just show grit, you show that, yeah, I'm willing to put in the work, and you go that extra mile, you will get rewarded for it eventually. Now, let's actually talk about what these businesses are looking for, because that will allow you to show them that as well. All businesses fundamentally lack good sales talent. It's just an industry thing, right? So if you can show that you have certain traits, you are so much more likely to be given an interview and to be hired. And one of the best things you can do is move with speed. Reply back to them fast. Maybe they want a Loom video or this or that. Be fast with it. Be quick with it. Have urgency. And whatever action steps they give you, follow them to the T, but also fast. Follow up consistently, like we talked about before, right? You want to follow up maybe 8 to 10 times, but obviously keep it high quality, not spammy, and just continue providing value. Maybe you say this first, like, oh, you should do this. Then you give them another tip. Then maybe you reply to a story saying something funny. You ask a question. Whatever it is, you have riz with it. You follow up with it, not in a needy way, but in just a high quality, like classy way where they're like, oh, okay, I respect that because he's hustling. I like that mindset. Thirdly, show confidence and almost be arrogant in a way. Bro, people love an arrogant sales rep. People want an arrogant sales rep. They want their, like, if you're getting in sales, which you are, do not be humble. Like, do not be like, haha, yeah, I'm okay. No, I'm the best there is. Your sales records, I'm gonna destroy them. Who's the dork? Who's your best top closer right now? I'm gonna destroy him, because sales is very competitive. And if you can just show that self-belief, you can show that arrogance and conviction in your own abilities. And I don't mean that to be arrogant, like, oh, I'm better than people, and like in a negative way. Perhaps maybe a little bit. Of course, like, we're Muslims and we want to be humble to an extent, but just show that confidence in yourself. Like I've literally said, like, I'm excited to be your top closer, and people are like start giving me like, oh, let's hop in an interview, blah blah blah. So it's very, very important to just have conviction in your own skill set and sell them on you. If you have so much belief in your own self that you can help them, they're just gonna be like, wait, this guy is so like confident. He must know something I don't. Let me just give him a chance. So have that, and that will help you, inshallah. Number 5, how to actually close the client. Once you've landed an interview with them, you want to take some time to research the client before the call, before the actual call, before the interview. Research more about what their audience is, their offer, their funnel, how are they getting clients, what they're doing. You kind of want to study it, right? So when you are on the call, you can show that you actually do care about their business and you want to help them grow. Because fundamentally, no one cares about you. They only care about themselves. And if you can show, hey, I care about you as well. I care about your business. I want to help you grow. Because they're not hiring to pay your bills. They're hiring you so you can get them more money, so you can help them grow. So having that mindset and showing that you care will help you a lot. And they will just like you more. You will have such a higher chance of getting hired and of you closing them, because you've shown that you cared. And of course, you've shown this stuff as well, right? You have confidence and all that stuff. Also, do not be needy or desperate. I know we talked about like following up, etc., but you never want to come across needy and desperate. It's so important to act out of abundance. There are so many different roles. There's so many different jobs. You have so many options. You don't need to actually be so desperate for this one role. Allah will provide for you anyways. You just need to trust in His timing, trust the process. And of course, keep putting in the work, keep putting in the actions. And literally, when you will come across this needy energy, it's just going to turn people off. They're not going to want to work with you. They're going to be like, oh, what's wrong with this guy? Whatever. Also, use industry terms. If you can speak their language, they'll be like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's done this before. He's been here before. even if you don't have any sales experience, if you can speak their role, speak their language, they'll be like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. They'll trust you more, and you can have a better conversation with them. You can also offer to do a role play right there, ask questions back, answer with conviction. You know, like, okay, they do like give you an objection, you handle it because you've learned it from here, blah, blah, blah. You talk about the different sales frameworks you've learned. All of that stuff is really going to help you, inshallah. You can even ask questions like, what does your sales process look like? How do you generate leads? So, hey, John, yeah, I saw your guys' sales process. I saw that they were messaging you a keyword, and it's mainly, I'm guessing, you set in the DMs and then you book a call, right? Is that how it works? Tell me a bit more about it. And then, do you also send like a VSO in between, blah, blah. You just ask them these questions and they're like, oh, okay, he knows what he's talking about. So that's pretty good. Bring energy and clarity. You want to have a positive attitude. Don't be nonchalant. Don't be like, haha, whatever. Positive attitude. Don't be goofy, of course, but nice smile. Make them get a positive vibe from you. Give off positive energy, and yeah, just even with your tonality, that will show, right? Hey, like, I actually care about you. Hey, it's good to speak to you. How are you, man? Blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, just close them. By this point, if you've done all of this right, they should feel pretty confident working with you, and you'll be able to tell where you stand with anything. So they might even tell you, okay, bro, I'll hire you, whatever. And if you feel like there's a little bit of uncertainty, you can offer them a trial period if they need. Hey, I'll work with you for free. I'm so confident in my own abilities. I'm so confident that I can come in and not only be good for you and your business, but I can be so great that you don't even have to pay me until I get you paid. I'll work fully off commissions, and I'll just eat from what I hunt. Boom. They're gonna respect that. They're gonna like it, and you can go from there. I promise you, if you follow this process enough times, you'll have an abundance of just not any roles, but good quality roles as well. Alrighty, that is everything you need to go out there and actually start building a halal online income. But if you're someone who has a few questions, you want a bit more support, or you just want to get faster results, maybe you want to land your first role in high ticket sales within the next 6 weeks, which a lot of our students in the Muslim Sales Accelerators do, then you might want to check out the first link in the description where you can apply to join the Muslim Sales Accelerator. Because when you join the program, you get a ton of support from me. You get advanced training on top of this just to level you up and help you get to 5 to 10K a month. So if that is something you are interested in, go apply, first link in the description. And if you want access to the sales scripts that I've showed and a lot of other bonuses, go join my free school community, second link in the description. Other than that, thank you for your time.